The Blue Jays have their sights set on the AL East title as Will Robertson makes his major league debut. Hey everyone, welcome into Long Ball. Rob Wong joined alongside by Toronto Sun Blue Jays writer Rob Longley. And Rob, hard to believe it, but it's been 10 years since the Blue Jays last won their AL East title in 2015, that magical season, of course, that everyone remembers. But as we sit here right now, the Blue Jays are inching closer towards the New York Yankees for top spot in the AL East. So it was just couple of weeks ago, I think we were talking about the Blue Jays just trying to chase down a wild card position, but it does seem like the bar has been set a little bit higher for this team, Rob. How do you think that changes their plans and the way that they view their team right now heading into the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think the main thing, Rob, is it makes the pursuit of the division title realistic all of a sudden. I mean, this is a team that, left spring training with that as the goal in the back of their mind, like however realistic it may or may not have been at the time. There was a belief within the room and within management that there was enough talent to at least be a contender for it. And then we spent the first 2 months of the season essentially dancing around the 500 mark. And that's, as you said, that's when we started talking about, okay, maybe it's wild card or nothing at this point. But amazing, like you say, 3 weeks, a 3-week surge, and they went from 8 games out of first place to, as we sit today, 3 games out. And, 3 games behind the Yankees. They've got 3 against the White Sox this weekend. That should be a soft spot for them. And then now we're 10 days away from what is shaping up as somewhat of a huge series at home, a 4-game series against the Yankees. So I asked John Schneider about it yesterday down at the ballpark, and about what that does, what the idea of being in a division race does for a team. And he said, especially at this point of the year when we're not even quite halfway through it, it kind of gives you that surge before the dog days of summer comes. It also gives you the opportunity, using Schneider's words again, to put your best foot forward at a crucial time of the year, not just for the players, but for the front office, because now all of a sudden we're inching towards a month away from the trade deadline. And if winning the division becomes a realistic target, then presumably the front office is going to have some impetus to do some serious shopping at the deadline. So there's also all sorts of factors that go into it. And I think from the Blue Jays perspective, again, winning the division would be huge. Hard to believe it. It's been a decade, but winning the division would be huge because we've seen what's happened when they're stuck in that wild card spot, right? The best of 3 where anything can happen. And of course, their last 2 chances at that didn't go particularly well. They went horrifically, in fact. So winning a division, contending for a division would be huge. There's still some things to figure out, some things to work on if they're going to be serious contenders. But the main thing is they put themselves in position to go for it that way.
Absolutely. And as you said, I don't think this is a position many thought they would be in just a few weeks ago when they were scuffling, just trying to get back to 500. It's been a parade of minor leaguers, Rob, coming up to help the Blue Jays this season. Will Robertson, the latest name, a guy that was drafted back in 2019, finally making his major league debut at the age of 27. But I personally did not know this until you wrote about it the other day, but he has a Blue Jays connection.
Yeah, he sure does. I mean, he's from the small town of Loose Creek, Missouri, farming community. He grew up on a farm where he told me there's more cows in Loose Creek than there are people. And 5 to 10 minutes down the road is Taos, Missouri, where better known as the home of Tom Henke, the Terminator, the all-time saves leader for the Blue Jays, a 2-time All-Star, and a guy who, I'm sure you would agree, Rob, is still beloved by Blue Jays fans. Like, that guy was such an ace as a back-end reliever, as a closer, and really defined the position for the Blue Jays. And these are the kind of stories that are fun to do because we don't know how long Will Robertson will be up. He's a great story in and of himself. It took 6 years in the minors to get here, but persevered, and basically was hitting so well in Buffalo that they had no choice but to give him the opportunity. Great kid, really humble, salt of the earth kind of guy who reminds you of what Tom Henke was when he was here. So I spoke to Robertson about that connection, and he talked about how Henke has been supportive of him since the day he was drafted, and how, sort of the cool factor of 2 guys from a very sort of remote part of Missouri being drafted by the same team. And then yesterday I had the opportunity to talk to Tom Henke about it, and that was kind of a treat because he was just thrilled for this kid. He's followed his career since he won a state title in high school in Missouri, and knows the family well. Sees the family around town in the area quite frequently, and was just thrilled to see Robertson finally get the call up, but to do it with the Blue Jays. Both of them were kind of tickled at the connection, and it's just one of those sort of feel-good stories. And writing it and getting the opportunity to talk to both of them, it's pretty clear to me that should he have some success, Will Robertson is the type of guy that many fans would get behind. Really an easy kid to root for.
Yeah, he really is. And like you said, such a great story, such a cool story, a small world when it comes to these two guys having that connection. But a great development story, as you said. The Blue Jays have been working with this guy for the past 6 years and finally getting to the major leagues. We'll see how he does here the rest of the way. But still, nonetheless, just a really cool story with Will Robertson and Tom Henke. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. For Rob Longley, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.